I watched them all the time. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlin Clark play about the same last year. So I was watching a lot of basketball.
Like, can we get Caitlin Clark a little protection out?
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined.
The WNBA has been thrown into complete chaos after a controversial collision involving Caitlin Clark sparked one of the biggest debates of the season. Now, a new wave of headlines is claiming that NBA legend Larry Bird has finally broken his silence, and fans everywhere are asking the same question. Did one of basketball's greatest icons just send a powerful message to the entire league? The moment Clark went down, social media exploded. Millions of fans replayed the incident over and over, arguing about whether Alyssa Thomas crossed the line or whether it was simply the kind of physical play that comes with professional basketball. The controversy quickly spread beyond the court, with analysts, former players, and fans all weighing in from every angle. The WNBA later suspended Thomas for one game after reviewing the play, while Thomas has maintained the contact was accidental and has spoken publicly about receiving threats afterward. But then another rumor began spreading across YouTube and social media, that Larry Bird had ripped Alyssa Thomas over the incident. The claim instantly went viral, generating millions of views and endless discussion. However, as of now, there is no verified public statement from Larry Bird confirming that he criticized Thomas over the play. Most of the viral claims originate from unverified videos and social media posts rather than confirmed interviews or official remarks. Even without a confirmed comment from Bird, the debate continues to grow louder. Many fans believe Clark deserves greater protection from officials, while others argue that the league has always been physical and that every player must adapt. Every replay, every opinion, and every new headline seems to deepen the divide. Meanwhile, league officials remain under intense scrutiny as questions continue about officiating standards and player safety. The incident has become far bigger than a single foul. It has evolved into a league-wide conversation about fairness, consistency, and the future of the WNBA's biggest stars. So did Larry Bird really blast Alyssa Thomas? Or is this another viral story fueled by speculation instead of facts? In this video, we'll separate rumor from reality, examine everything that actually happened on the court, break down the league's response, and reveal why this controversy refuses to disappear.
Look at that. Boom. Look at her put her knee into Caitlin Clark's groin. Right there on that play, right? I mean, this is gross, right there.
Bird got very angry when he saw the video of Alyssa Thomas pushing Clark from behind while she was getting poked in the eye. Almost no one in basketball history knew what pure competitive fire looked like better than this man, who played against tough guys like Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer. But even he agreed that Alyssa Thomas's actions went beyond what is expected of a competitive person and were not sportsmanlike. But pay close attention to what Bird says about when that shove happened. At this point, Alyssa Thomas is heartbroken over what he found. Before we go on, please like and subscribe to the station if you haven't already. Let's go back to the story. A lot of basketball fans had been thinking about what the great player said, but no one with his level of credibility would have been brave enough to say it. It's not the same thing to play championship-level defense and to take cheap shots at a man who is fully exposed and not looking. Bird said that many people thought his time in the NBA was the hardest on his body. Instead of waiting for someone to turn their back before acting like a predator, when you didn't agree with them, you faced them straight on, like a warrior. This is exactly what made Bird the most angry about Alyssa Thomas's horrible behavior. When Bird says things like this, though, they really hurt Alyssa Thomas's reputation. The Celtics veteran was especially annoyed by Alyssa Thomas's poor handling of the situation. She didn't say she was sorry or admit she might have gone too far. Instead, Alyssa Thomas said that fans and the media were wrongly criticizing her. "Damned if I do, damned if I don't," she said in a low voice. However, Bird was even more angry after hearing those comments. Bird says that the winners and legends of the game, who are truly great competitors, always take full responsibility for their actions, especially if they put another player in danger. He also said that seeing Alyssa Thomas play the victim to avoid criticism made him think of athletes who knew deep down they couldn't fight at the highest level. So, to change the game, they came up with new, questionable strategies. To put it another way, Bird basically called Alyssa Thomas a bad player who cheats because she has the basketball skills to match her potential. The most interesting thing that Bird's study shows about Caitlin Clark is here. The things that made Bird one of the best basketball players of all time can be seen in Clark. It's her divine vision to make everyone around her better, her amazing basketball IQ, and her clutch shooting skills that are beyond comprehension. He likes the moral standards of basketball, though, and he finds something that really worries him. This young, very skilled basketball player shouldn't just focus on reaching her full basketball potential, she should also always be on the lookout for cheap shots and dirty tricks. Bird says that Alyssa Thomas's method shows everything that is wrong with some players' choice to play against Clark instead of challenging themselves to match her high level of skill or outwork her on the court through hard work and dedication. It is concerning that she is physically attacked when she is most likely to be hurt. Bird said that this kind of competitiveness was the purest kind of basketball he could think of. But Bird's angry comments have made people all over the basketball world very angry. Bird said that Clark's situation was similar to times when he was physically threatened at work. But he was quick to point out something that puts Clark's situation in its proper light and makes her look better. He said that Clark, who is only 22, is going through a lot more trouble than most athletes do in their whole careers. On top of that, she's carrying the weight of being the face of women's basketball. It's already popular on social media, though, what Bird said about Alyssa Thomas's future in the game. You have to hear it to believe it. Bird says that if the WNBA lets players like Alyssa Thomas chase superstars without getting in trouble, it sends the message that average players can do bad things to stay popular instead of getting better at basketball. He says this sets a bad example that could stop players who are trying to take the sport to new heights. Bird went so far as to say that young players watching at home are being misled because the league won't punish these actions properly. If kids watch the WNBA, he thinks it should teach them about skill, dedication, and respect, not how to take advantage of weak opponents. But Bird's prediction about Clark's future in light of these problems may have been the most important part of his whole speech. He thought that Clark was shaped by hardships and that every cheap shot, dirty play, and attempt to scare her only made her want to show how good she was at basketball. Bird said that Clark's situation was like his own rookie year, when rival players constantly hit him to see how well he could handle the pressure. He said that Clark is different because she has to deal with this behavior along with the huge amount of attention and expectations from the media that come with being the most marketable player in WNBA history. This is why Bird's help for Clark is so important. He's not just watching out for a great player. He is protecting the basic rules of basketball. He thinks that Caitlin Elizabeth Clark has all the qualities that make up basketball, like skill, vision, class, and a desire to win. He also sees everything in players like Alyssa Thomas that could be bad for the sport. The basketball great said that the WNBA is at a turning point. They can do one of two things. Either they keep letting bad players use tricks to stay in the game, or they protect and promote their best players, letting guys like Clark reach their full potential and making the league stronger as a whole. Bird's message was easy to understand. The league's future will depend on which choice you make. That which everyone is talking about is whether the WNBA will listen to Larry Bird's advice and protect Caitlin Clark, or whether athletes like Alyssa Thomas will keep using shady tactics to hurt the league's image. Let's keep talking about it in the box below. What do you think about Larry Bird's harsh criticism of Alyssa Thomas's actions? Do you think he's being too critical, or do you think he's right to be critical? Even more importantly, do you think the WNBA will protect its biggest star in the long run? Please tell us what you think in the space below. I read all of them. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see more analysis like this that gets to the heart of basketball games and tells you what's really going on. Because of Larry Bird's rude words, things may change for Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. People who play basketball are paying attention to this. There is one thing that gets harder to ignore as the story goes on. It's no longer just about one game, one hard foul, or one controversial moment. It's about what the league wants to do for the future of women's basketball and how its biggest stars are treated when they're in the spotlight. Few athletes have ever had to deal with the demands that Caitlin Clark did when she joined the WNBA. A lot of people watch her play games. Every move she makes is looked at from every angle. Every win is praised, and every loss makes the news. That's what it's like to be one of the most famous basketball players in the world right now. On the other hand, veterans from all over the league are still competing at the top level. They bring years of experience, toughness, and pride to every game. The WNBA has to make sure that playing too hard doesn't lead to dangerous or pointless games. Fans want a lot of intensity. They want to compete. They like basketball that is rough. But they also want things to be fair, respected, and consistent. People are very angry about Larry Bird's comments because he knows what it's like to be forced to perform. During his long and successful career, Bird played against some of the best defenders and toughest opponents in basketball history. His message wasn't just about being tough, though. It was about keeping the game honest and making sure that basketball skill, not controversy, stayed the main topic of conversation. It doesn't matter if you agree with Bird's assessment or think the situation has been blown out of proportion. His words have definitely caused people to talk. People in the media, around the league, and among fans are still arguing about what should happen when one of the best players gets hit. Should the government be stricter? Should there be harsher punishments from the league? Or is this always the way things are in professional basketball? It looks like everyone has a different idea. There is no doubting how Caitlin Clark felt. She has kept her career focused on basketball instead of letting criticism, physical defense, or controversy define it. She keeps competing and showing why so many people think she will be the next big thing in the sport. One of the main reasons people still support her is that she is strong. The WNBA is getting more attention than ever before. Ratings for TV shows are going up. The stadiums are getting full. Every day, there are more and more conversations on social media. More and more people are becoming interested in women's basketball. These kinds of moments affect more than one player or team. The way people around the world see the league is shaped by them. Every game will become more important as the season goes on. Every game that Caitlin Clark is in will be watched very closely. Every play that causes trouble will be looked at. Every official choice will be called into question, and every game will add to the story of one of the most talked about WNBA seasons ever. Now it's your turn to ask the most important question. Do you think that what Larry Bird said about what's going on in the league is accurate? Do you think the WNBA does enough to keep its players safe while still letting them play physically tough basketball? And what do you think will happen next with this problem and Caitlin Clark, Alyssa Thomas, and the league? Please tell me what you think in the comments section below. I really want to know what basketball fans all over the world think. This community is great because of the respectful debate. Your point of view could be shown in a future video. Follow us on YouTube to get more in-depth basketball analysis, special updates, and the latest news on the WNBA, NBA legends, and Caitlin Clark. Leave your thoughts in the box below, follow, and make sure all of your notifications are turned on so you don't miss anything. When you click on the movie, we'll see you in the next one.